Welcome back to Fix It Things. Well, I'm back over here on my daughter's RV, and she told me that when she went to put it on to AC mode, it got real hot last week. Right now the temperature is nice outside, and she says it wasn't working. And we put this thing in the middle of the winter, and it worked flawlessly for the whole time. And then she said every once in a while it would the light would flash on the unit on the inside, but it kept working. Um, I didn't think nothing of it. So now she says it's not blowing any cold air out the system when it's on AC, and now it's not blowing any heat when it's on heat mode. So now she has no heat, no AC. I'm thinking it's a Freon issue. I'm thinking it's a Freon issue. So I came over last week. Right now, she's for heat. She's back on the little floor radiant heat thingies, the plug in to the wall. So I came over. It was last week or the week before, and I did some checking around on it and did some stuff, and I noticed the compressor wasn't even kicking on. And so that could either tell me one of two things. One, the compressor is shot and it's just not working no more because it's a cheap unit. And the reason why I buy these cheap units, and I've had some people already, because this is like my fourth one of these I installed. Plus I installed a regular heat pump system in the house. Uh, the reason why I do these things because the system is only $390. Okay, if I was to have a HVAC guy come out here and check it, it would cost me $150 just for the guy to come out here and check it. Okay, that's not saying he's going to put some Freon in for that $150. That's not saying he's going to put some stop leak or check anything else. That's just the service call to see what's wrong with it. Then you give them the okay, and it costs money. Well, the thing is, I can buy a whole new system exactly like this one for the price it would cost to fix it, even with a minor system issue. And I'm thinking it's just a minor system issue, and I'm thinking the compressor shut down because it's low on Freon. That's what I'm thinking. So I messed around with it. I unplugged it, let it reset. The compressor came on. I just hear the compressor come on in my system back there. I put my fingers on the pipes, and it was very, very little heat change. The compressor was running. The compressor ran for probably 5 minutes, and it shut off, and there was didn't come back on again. So what does that tell you, Pastor Bill? Well, it tells me the compressor is probably in safe mode because it's low in Freon. If it's low in Freon, it means I got a leak. If it's got a leak, it means the leak's got to be fixed. Now I don't have a leak detector, but what I did order was some easy fix stuff that you inject into the lines through your gauges, and it has a UV stuff on it. That way, all you got to do is use a black light, ultraviolet light on it, and that'll tell me where the leak is. Now we're going to go ahead and tighten up all the fittings. So one of the things I noticed on this system when I installed it the last time was at first it was really, really cold out. It was snowing, if you remember. It was snowing when I put the system in. Um, when I was running the vacuum on it, I couldn't get it down below like 1800. And you got to have a minimum, it's got to be down to 500. And I like to get it down to 300. They say if you can get it down to 500 microns and hold it, you have no leaks. I couldn't get it under 1500. I went back and snugged up the lines a little bit, and all of a sudden it shot down to 300. And I said, okay, it's good, it's good. But for a while I didn't put it all on the video because it was just an installation, and I got it down. It took a while, so I'm thinking I still have a connection issue, and the systems does have a little bit of stuff in it because you can feel a temperature change when the compressor is on. Right now the system's turned off. So what the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run around and check. I already took the liberty and undid the wrapping from that side over there where it comes out the trailer wall, and we're going to check all my connections and make sure everything is tight, because if it ain't tight, it's just going to leak right back out. Now I put the no log on the fittings. The no log doesn't get hard, it doesn't crystallize, doesn't contaminate the HVAC system, and I used the last bit of no log on this system, and I may not have had enough to do it right. It's very possible. So I ordered some more Nylog. That's what it's called, Nylog, and it should be here next week. And I'm ordering some stop leak stuff that you inject into the system. Also, I have about probably 2.5 to 3 pounds of the R410 left over. It's really, really old. um, but this system only takes, I don't even have my glasses. This is not going to be good. I'm going to have to go get my glasses. I think it's 2 point something pounds, 2.05 pounds. I can't read it anyway. 2.5 pounds, 2.05 pounds. So there should be enough to top it off. Now, the way some guys, I know I'm gonna hear it in the remarks section. Okay, that's how you do it. You are a professional. I am not a professional, right? I worked 18 years as a master electrician in an HVAC company, and I am not an HVAC tech. But when you're around something for a tremendous amount of time, you tend to pick up a few things here and there. I've had to do service calls when the other service techs weren't there. Oh, Pastor Bill, can you just run out to this house and just check it out? We think it's this and this, and we've been out to that house a couple times, and I've had to fix HVAC systems that the techs couldn't fix. Right? They're good at their gauges, and they're good at that, and they're good at this, and some of these guys are not good at testing sensors and stuff like that. Well, you know what? Being a master electrician, testing the sensor, that's not a big deal for me. Testing whether or not the pump has got a short in it, that's not a big deal for me. The electrical systems and stuff like that is not a big deal. I'm good at that stuff. We called up a client of ours at the steampunk parlor, and they had their tech talk to me, and he thinks it's probably a freon leak, and I'm convinced it's probably a freon leak too. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to check our connections, because if it's a Freon leak, that's where it's leaking. How do you know that's where it's leaking? Because the system was charged with Freon and it had Freon and it was working. The unit inside was charged with nitrogen, and when we opened up the caps, the nitrogen came out. That tells me it's not in the head unit, and the leak is not in here. So it's either here at the connections or right there on the other side of the unit where the pipes come out the wall in the connection there. Could it have developed a leak? Yeah, anything could happen. Anything could happen. But you know what's gonna if there's a major leak, I'm gonna get the system charged tonight. If there's a major leak in the system, I'm just gonna install a new system. That's all I'm gonna do. Because this is only 300. I'm not gonna take the compressor out. I'm not gonna double check the coils. I'm not gonna do nothing like that. I'm not gonna do anything because this is like a throwaway system. And within a week, I can get a whole new system put back on here, put the new lines, new everything, the mounting brackets, everything's here. All the hard work is done. The wire is already ran, and I'll put a new system in, and it'll be done with. I got 3 other of these things working, and I haven't had a problem with none of them. One of them is over 2 years old, running in the back room. 2 years, a little mini split heat pump, no problem with it whatsoever. So that's what we're going to do first. Let's check our connections, and then we're going to install the gauges on it. All right, lefty loosey, righty tighty. And what did I do with the wrench? I just had this wrench. I use this wrench. How about that? And it could be leaking from the Schrader valve. It's very possible. Because I did get it to the correct amount of microns. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. I did get some tightness out of that one. All right, let's check the other lines on the other side. Oh, wrong one. Did I strip it? Wrench slipped off. Whew. So I did get a little bit of movement out of it. So we're going to take the cap off where the Schrader valve is. We'll see if we hear anything if I just loosen the cap. I did not. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hook my gauges up. And we're going to hook the low pressure side up, and on these mini splits you got to use an adapter. And let's see if there's even anything in it. There's nothing in the system. So there's no Freon in the system whatsoever. Alright, I have a bottle, so I'm going to hook a bottle up. And see if we can't get this thing running. Alright, so we're going to take my yellow line, and we're going to hook it to the bottle. There's very little. There may not even be enough to charge the system. This thing ran for at least 4 months. You don't need to put those on there, okay. Alright, so what I need to do is bleed it out. I heard a pressure drop off. Alright, we're good there. And now we'll take the off from the Schrader valve here. Just loosen it up. Open this up. Alright, so now the system is bled all the way through. There is some Freon in there. Actually, it put a little bit into the tank. So normal system operating pressure is at 117 to 120 on the PSI gauge. So I'm going to go inside and turn the system on. Alright, I got the compressor kicked on. And we're on the vacuum side, and we're only showing on the PSI side. Gotta put my glasses on. We're showing minus. So let's go ahead and put some Freon in there. going up. We got to get it all the way up over here to 120. So we can see this Freon is really low. I don't even think there's enough Freon in that tank. I don't think we'll ever get up there because there's not enough. There's not enough. We're pumping though now. At least we're pumping. Let's hold it wide open for a while. But I don't think it's gonna. There's not enough Freon in that tank. And usually, if it falls down below 50, it's not enough to cool. I still hear stuff moving in there. And it's slowly going up. We're gonna let it eat. I may have to see if I can't find some more Freon. I may have some somewhere. Alright, so I found a fresher bottle rummaging around through my junk in the shed, and we'll see if we can't get this up to where it's got to go. Let this thing cycle a little bit. See, we're going up because it was down here. We're doing something. It either work or it won't. Okay, she's cycling. I'm feeling warm out the condenser thing now. Okay, we're moving. Now it should cycle. Going through the system. I see the hose is jumping. I feel warm air. I hope there's enough in this other tank. I think there is. It feels like it's about half full. may go ahead and order a whole new system anyways. This might get her going. So we got to get it to 117 to 120. I don't think it's going to get up that high. I can feel fluid going through the lines. Freon lines are getting cold. Pressure side is definitely warmer than the, and I feel heat coming out the coils. Okay, the compressor just kicked off. I'm gonna go inside and check the temperature. Get my trash. All right. I think that's gonna be it. Let me check. All right, I think that's gonna be it for this episode of Fix It Things. It's working. It's blowing cold air out on the inside. I did not have enough Freon to completely charge it, but it's close. So maybe I had one of the fittings loose, and then when it switched over to heat mode, it heated the fitting up, and it started to leak. But it's doing its thing now. So it's on AC mode and it's blowing out warm air. So I guess it's not fixed. I don't have any more Freon. So this is going to be it for now. But now my daughter will have heat in the nighttime, and if it gets too hot, she'll have some AC. And I'll get a friend who has some Freon. The Freon that I have is, there we go, just cut off. I hear it bubbling. The Freon I have now is Freon that was left over from my wife's brother. Leftover stuff. He's a HVAC tech. He lives in Maryland now, and this is all just leftover stuff from where he used to work. I was lucky. I found a little bit of Freon out there. You can get the Freon online on eBay. You're supposed to have a license to buy it, but sometimes you can just purchase small amounts and they don't say nothing. I ordered a sealer kit. So you put that online, and when you're charging the system, you pump the sealer in it. I may get that. It was holding 300 microns before, and it's like all of a sudden it didn't want to hold that no more. And I think when it went into heat mode, I think the expansion on the fitting caused it to leak out. That's what I'm thinking. And like I said, I did get a little bit more snuggy duggies on the fitting, so maybe it's right now, maybe it's not. All I know is it's blowing cold air out inside. I don't like to leave it like this, but that's what we got done. So you got to remember, some people say you got to empty the system out, recover the system, the Freon, and then start fresh, putting the 2.5 something pounds of Freon into the system. Uh, but if you know what the system operating pressure is on the low side, you can slowly touch it, go it, touch it, go it, touch it, go it, and you'll see it float up past it and float down below it, and then settle. Up, lower, then settle. And you want to get that settle somewhere at 117 to 120. How do you know that, Pastor Bill? I've been working on HVAC systems for a lot of years. Like I said, I am not an HVAC tech, but I've been working on the systems because I worked for an HVAC company, and that's what these systems run on. So you can recharge them. That are the problem is this has a 3-stage compressor in it. You have to make sure that it's in the high pressure pumping when it's doing it. So you can usually tell if it's on the low pressure, it'll just be moderately on because it's a power saving device. But usually when the compressor first kicks on, that's when you got to quickly do your test. Then if not, wait. Sometimes you can just go inside, throw it on heat mode, come back out, put it on HVAC mode, wait your few minutes, and it's going to kick on in high mode. Do your testing again. All I can say is God bless each and every one of you. Don't do what I do. Call a professional. Like I said, the whole reason why I do these things like this is because these systems are cheap. They're like a throwaway system. They got good parts. This is supposed to have a Toshiba compressor in it, and a lot of these little systems are the same. They're probably made in the same manufacturing place. And they put different tins on them. I don't know. This one here is supposedly Mexico, and then this brand also sells them coming out of China. So all I know is for $300, that's what they're going to charge me to come out here and fix this system. $300 something, $300 to $400 something. So I can put a brand new system in at that price. Remember, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Now, my daughter's going to have some heat tonight, and she'll have AC when it gets hot out. Today is beautiful outside. I think I'm going to go start another project. Maybe on the Miho truck. Are you going to kick back on, or are you comfortable inside? God bless you.